सबको सादर नमस्ते जी. On behalf of Arya Sabha America, it is my distinct pleasure and honor to welcome you all to the Saturday morning Satsang services and Agnihotra hosted by Arya Sabha America. So without any further delay, may I request our guest Acharya ji today from Kenya, Acharya Varun ji. नमस्ते आचार्य जी.
नमस्ते जी, धन्यवाद जी, बहुत बहुत
जी.
और सभी यजमानों को हृदय से साधुवाद का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आज के इस सत्संग में. आइए हम सभी मिलकर ईश्वर भक्ति में लीन हो, अपने हृदय के उन सभी भावों के साथ, उन सभी पवित्र के साथ, पुनीत भावों के साथ जो हमें ईश्वर की उस दिव्य चेतना से संपर्क स्थापित कराने का सामर्थ्य रखती हैं. So let's start today with the utmost devotion in our heart to the Almighty, omnipresent, omniscient, and beloved, our Supreme Parameshwar, who is the source of all lives, all happiness, and all the worlds. So we start today's satsang with the sacred chanting of Om 3 times. Kindly take deep breath. भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. तूने हमें उत्पन्न किया, पालन कर रहा है तू, तुझसे ही पाने हम, दुखियों के कष्ट हरता है तू. तेरा महान तेज है, छाया हुआ सभी स्थान. सृष्टि की वस्तु में तू हो रहा है विद्यमान. तेरा ही धरते ध्यान हम, मांगते तेरी दया. ईश्वर हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला. दाता हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला. ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। अब हम सभी मिलकर एक संध्या ब्रह्म यज्ञ आरंभ करेंगे। एंड ब्रह्म मीन्स our solemn concentration, focus on the divine consciousness, the consciousness which is forever free, almighty, is full, powerful, and omniscient. So we will concentrate on the Parameshwar during our Sandhya, our Brahma Yajna, who is the target or goal of Brahma Yajna. Atha Brahma Yajna. ॐ वः स्वः तद्वितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ नो देवीरभिष्य आपो भवन्तु पीतये शयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः। ॐ वाक् ॐ प्राणः प्राणः ॐ चक्षुः चक्षुः ॐ श्रोत्रं श्रोत्रम् ॐ नाभिः ॐ हृदयम् ॐ कण्ठः ॐ शिरः ॐ बाहुभ्यां यशोबल ॐ करतल करपृष्ठे ॐ भूः पुनातु शिरसि ॐ भुवः पुनातु नेत्रयोः ॐ स्वः पुनातु कण्ठे ॐ स्वः पुनातु हृदये ॐ जनः पुनातु नाभि ॐ तपः पुनातु पादयोः ॐ त्यं पुनातु पुनः शिरसि ॐ खं ब्रह्म पुनातु सर्वत्र ॐ भुः ॐ भुवः ॐ वः ॐ महः ॐ नः ॐ तपः ॐ सत्यम् ॐ ऋतं च सत्यं चाभितपसोऽध्यजायत ततो रात्रजायत ततः सद्रोवः ॐ सादर्णवादधि संवत्सरो आयत अहोरात्राणि विदधद्विश्वस्य ॐ सूर्यान्द्रमसौ धाताय ध्रुवमकल्पयत् दिवं च पृथिवीं चान्तरिक्षमत् ॐ शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय भवन्तु पीतये शयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः। ॐ प्राचीदिग्रसितो रक्षितादित्या तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपत् रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तम्भे दद्मः ॐ दिगिन्द्रोऽधिपतिस्तिरश्च रक्षिता पितर ईशवः नमोऽधिपतेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः अस्तु योऽस्म्यं वयं द्विष्मस्तम्भो मह ॐ वरुणोऽधिपतिः प्रीदापिता अन्नमिषवः नमोऽधिपतेभ्यो नमो क्षित्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो एभ्यो अस्तु यो यं वयं द्विष्मस्तम्भे दद्मः ॐ उदीचीदिक्मोऽधिपतिः स्वजो रक्षितनिरिवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु ओस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वोजम्भे दद्मः ॐ ध्रुवादिग्विष्णुरधिकल्माषग्रीवो वीरुध ईशवः भ्यो नमोऽधिपतेभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं मस्तम्भोजम्भे दद्मः ॐ ऊर्ध्वादिबृहस्पतिरधिपतिः श्वित्रो रक्षावर्षमिषवः तेभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्मस्तम्भोजम्भे ॐ उद्वं सत्त्वः पश्यन्त उत्तरम् देवत्रा सूर्यमगजोत्तमम् ॐ उद्यं जातवेदसं देवं वहन्ति के दृशे विश्वायसु ॐ चित्रं देवानामीकं चक्षुर्मित्रस्य वरुण आप्राद्या वा पृथ्तरिक्षं सूर्य आत्मा जगतस्तुष स्वाहा ॐ तत्पुरस्ताच्छुक्रमुच्च शरदः शतं जीवेम शृणुयाम शरदः शतं शतमदीनाः शरदः शतं भूयश्च शतात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वाहा तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं देवस्य धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् हे ईशानिधे भवत्कृपया अनेन जपोपासनादिकर्मणा धर्म अर्थ काम सद्यः सिद्धिर्भवेत् ॐ नमः शम्भवाय च मयो भवाय नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च पतये च। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ब्रह्म यज्ञ संध्योपासना विधि। दोनों हाथों को आप आर्म्स को रब करके put gently so that you the warmth, the energy which accumulated on the palms because of concentration. Now we will chant Ishwar Stuti Prathanopasana, and in these 8 months we will praise the attributes of Parameshwar, infinite, and who has all the virtues and attributes illimitably, and pray to the Almighty Parameshwar to grant us those divine attributes in our life which will make our life divine. अथ ईश्वर स्तुति प्रार्थनोपासना मंत्राः। ॐ विश्वानि देव सवितर्दुरितानि परासुव यद्भद्रं तन्न आसु। ॐ हिरण्य समवर्तताग्रे भूतस्य जातः पतिरेक आसीत् सदाधार पृथिवीं द्यामुते मां कस्मै देवाय विधेम। ॐ य आत्मदा बलदा विश्व उपासते प्रशिशं यस्य देवाः यस्य छाया अमृतं यस्य मृत्युः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ यः प्राणतो निशतो महित्वैक इद्राजा जगतो बभूव य ईशे अस्य द्विपदश्चतुष्पदः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ येन द्यौरुग्रा पृथिवी च दृढा येन स्वहस्तभितं येन नाकः यो अन्तरिक्षे रजसो विमानः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ प्रजापतेन देतान्यन्नो विश्वा जातानि परिता बभूव यत्कामास्ते जुहुमनो अस्तु वयं स्याम पतयोरयीणाम्। ॐ नो बन्धुर्जनिता विधाता धामावेद भुवनानि विश्वा यत्र देवा अमृत शानाच्युतिये धाध्यैरयन्त। ॐ अग्नेनय सुधाराय अस्मान् विश्वानि देववानि विद्वान् यूयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमीनो भूयिष्ठान्ते नम उक्तिं विधेम। इतीश्वर स्तुति प्रार्थनोपासना मंत्राः। एक प्रार्थना करेंगे। हे सकल जगत के उत्पत्ति करता, समग्र ऐश्वर्य युक्त शुद्ध स्वरूप, हे सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप, सर्वशक्तिमान, न्यायकारी, दयालु, कृपालु, निर्विकार, सर्वाधार, हे जगदीश्वर, हम आज इस प्रातः काल की शुभ वेला में आपके समक्ष प्रस्तुत हुए हैं, अपने हृदयों में पवित्र भावनाएं प्रार्थनाएं लेकर। हे ईश्वर, हमारे चित्त को आप पवित्र कीजिए, उसमें शुभ संकल्पों को प्रतिष्ठित कीजिए, हमारे मन के सभी अंधकार, अज्ञान और अविद्या को दूर कर अपने दिव्य ज्ञान की ज्योति से हमें आलोकित कीजिए। हमारे हृदयों में अपने प्रति अनन्य भक्ति को उत्पन्न कीजिए। हे ईश्वर, आप सभी शक्तियों के स्वामी हैं। हमारे प्राणों को निर्मल कर अपनी शक्ति का संचार कीजिए। हमारे शरीरों में जितने भी रोग हैं, शोक हैं, उन सब को नष्ट कर अपनी आरोग्य शक्ति को आप स्थापित कीजिए। हे ईश्वर, संपूर्ण संसार में आप शांति और सामंजस्य को स्थापित कीजिए, सौहार्द को स्थापित कीजिए एवं प्रेम को स्थापित कीजिए। हे ईश्वर, हम सब पर अपनी कृपा दृष्टि बना के रखिए। यही आपसे विनम्र निवेदन है, प्रार्थना है। हमारी प्रार्थनाएं स्वीकार करें, स्वीकार करें, स्वीकार करें। Last time we chanted 3 mantras from Swasti Vachanam and Shanti Karanam. Today we will chant from 19 to 20 of both Swasti Vachanam and Shanti Karanam. Swasti Vachanam मंत्र 19 अथ स्वस्ति वाचनम। ओम अरिष्टाः समर्तो विश्व एधते प्रप्रजाभिर्जायते धर्मणस्परि यमादित्यासो न यथा सुनीतिभिरति विश्वानि दुरिता स्वस्तये। ओम यम देवासो अवथवाजसातौ यम शूरसाता मरुतो हिते धने प्रातर्यावाणं रथमिन्द्रसानसिं दृश्यन्तमारुहेमा स्वस्तये। ओम स्वस्ति नः पथ्यासु धन्वसु स्वप्त्यप्सु वृजने स्वर्वति स्वस्ति नः पुत्रकृतेषु योनिषु स्वस्तिराये मरुतो दधातन। अब शांति करणम के 19, 20 and 21। ओम तच्चक्षुर्देवहितं पुरस्ताच्छुक्रमुच्चरत् पश्येम शरदः शतं जीवेम शरदः शतं शृणुयाम शरदः शतं प्रब्रवाम शरदः शतमदीनाः स्याम शरदः शतं भूयश्च शरदः शतात्। ओम यज्जाग्रतो दूरमुदैति दैवं तदुसुप्तस्य तथैवैति दूरंगमं ज्योतिषां ज्योतिरेकं तन्मे मनः शिव संकल्पमस्तु। ओम येन कर्माण्यपसो मनीषिणो यज्ञे किण्वन्ति विदथेषु धीराः यद पूर्वं यक्षमन्तः प्रजानां तन्मे मनः शिव संकल्पमस्तु। इति शान्तिकरणं पाठः। Now I request all the respected Yajmans, please take few drops of water on the palm of your right hand for Sankalpa part. We will make a strong resolution in our heart, in our mind, that we are performing this Dev Yajna in order to invoke the Almighty's grace and wisdom and His knowledge in ourselves and all His divine attributes. Atha Sankalpa Patha. Om Tat Sat Shri Brahmanu Divase Dvitiye Pehrar Tarurardhe Vaivaswate Manvantare Ashtavinshati Kali Yuge Kali Prathama Charane Eka Vrinda Shannavati Koti Ashtalaksha Tripanchashat Sahasra Chaturvinshatyuttara Shatatame Shrishti Samvatsare Ashityadhika Dvisahasravaikramápte Dakshinayane Sharadaritau Ashvinamase Shuklapakshe Purnimayam Tithau Shanivasare Ashwini Nakshatre Shubhamuhurte Uttari Amerika Dvipe Sanyukta Rashtra Amerika Deshe Sarva Kalyanartham Ishwar Prityartham Cha Asnabhiratra Deva Yajjah Kriyate. Kindly छोड़ दें जल को. आचमन करेंगे 3 times. Take few drops of water on the palm of your right hand, and after the mantra, please sip the water 3 times. Om Amrito Pastaranamase Swaha. Second time. Om Amrita Pidhanamase Swaha. Third time. Om Satyam Yashah Shrirmai Shri Shayatam Swaha. Please take few more drops and just rinse your hands on side. Now, please take few drops on the palm of your left hand and middle and ring finger of your right hand. You will touch the water and place it on your right side and left side of the different body parts with the mantras in order to purify and strengthen the senses and the body and purify them. Om Vangama Ase Astu. Om Nasor Me Prano Astu. Om Akshanor Me Chakshurastu. Om Karnayor Me Shrotramastu. Om Bahor Me Balamastu. Om Urvorma Ojo Astu. Om Arishtani Mengani Tanustan Vami Sahasantu. Now please light the Deepak in front of you. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha. And now please take camphor and you will light the Agni in the established Agni in the Havan Kund. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swardyauriva Bhumna Prithviva Varimna Tasyaste Prithvi Deva Yajani Prishthe Agni Mannada Mannadhyayadadhe. Om Udbuddhe Swagne Pratijagrahi Tvamishtha Purte Sangsrije Thamayancha Asmin Sadaste Adhyutarasmin Vishve देवाय यजमानस्य सीदत. Please take wood sticks and with swaha kindly offer them in the Havan Kund. Om Yanta Ima Atma Jata Vedasne Dhyasvavardhasva Chetavaya Chasman Prajaya Shubhir Brahma Varchasenanna Samedhaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Namah. Om Samidhagnim Duvasyat Ghritairbordhayatim Asmin Havyajotana. Om Susamidhaya Shochitam Tivram Jotana. Agnaye Jata Vedase Swaha. Idam Agnaye Vedase Idam Namama. Om Tantva Samidbhirangiro Grena Vardhayamasi Brihachaya Vishtaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Angirase Idam Namama. पंच घृत आहुति 5 घी की आहुति से स्वाहा के साथ देंगे. विद स्वाहा. ओम आयन इद्म आत्मा जात वेदस्तेने ध्यस्ववर्धस्व चेद्वर्धय चास्माया पशुभिर्ब्रह्म वर्चसे नानाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा. इदग्नये जात वेदसे इदन्नमम. ओम आयन इद्म आत्मा जात वेदस्तेने ध्यस्ववर्धस्व चेद्वर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया ब्रह्म वर्चसेनान्ना समेधय स्वाहा. इदमग्नये जात वेदसे इदन्नमम. ओम आयन्त इद्म आत्मा जात वेदस्तेने ध्यस्ववर्धस्व चेद्वर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशु ब्रह्म वर्चसे नान्नादेन समेधय स्वाहा. अग्नये जात वेदसे इदमम. ओम अयन्त वेदस्तेने ध्यस्ववर्धस्व चेद्वर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशु ब्रह्म वर्चसे नान्नाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा. इदमग्नये जात वेदसे मम. ओम अयन्त इद्म आत्मा जातस्तेने ध्यस्ववर्धस्व चेद्वर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशु ब्रह्म वर्चसे नान्नाद्येन समेधय स्वाहा. इदमग्नये जात वेदसे दन्नममा. स्प्रिंकलिंग ऑफ वाटर, जल सिंचन करेंगे बस फ्रंट ऑफ यजमान. ओम अदिते मन्स्व. and where yajman is sitting. Om anumate anuswa. Left side to the yajman. Om saraswatya anumanyaswa. After the mantra, please start from the right side and all around. Om deva savitah prasuva yajjam prasuva yajjapatim bhagaya दिव्यो गंधर्वाः केतपुः केतन्नः पुनातु वाचस्पतिर्वा चन्नः स्वदतु. 4 oblations of ghee in a line, first on the left side in the Havan Kund, north, second on the right side, south, and 2 in the center. Agharavajya Bhagavati. Om Agnaye Swaha. Idam Agnaye Dannamama. Om Somaya Swaha. Idam Somaya Idannamama. Om Prajapataye Swaha. Idam Prajapataye Idannamama. Om Indraya Swaha Idam Indraya Idanna Mama. Now for more oblations of ghee, Vyahriti Ahuti. Om Bhuragnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Idanna Mama. Om Bhurvayave Swaha Idam Vayave Idanna Mama. Om Swaradityaya Swaha Idam Adityaya Idanna Mama. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaragnivayavaditebhyah Swaha Idam Agni Vayavaditebhyah Idanna Mama. स्विष्ट कृत आहुति, प्रसाद की आहुति ले लीजिए सभी। ओम यदस्य कर्मणो अत्यरीरिचं यद्वा न्यूनमिहाकरम् अग्निष्टत् स्विष्टकृत विद्यात् सर्वं स्विष्टं सुहुतं करोतु मे। अग्नये स्विष्टकृते सुहुतहुते सर्वप्रायश्चित्ताहुतीनाम् कामानां समर्धयित्रे सर्वान्नः कामान् समर्धय स्वाहा। इदम अग्नये स्विष्टकृते इदन्न मम। एक घी की मौन आहुति। ओम स्वाहा इदम प्रजापतये इदन्न मम। नाउ प्रातःकालीन, सायंकालीन, मॉर्निंग एंड इवनिंग oblations with ghee and samagri together. Om Suryo Jyotirjyotih Suryah Swaha. Om Suryo Varcho Jyotirvarchah Swaha. Om Jyotih Suryah Suryo Jyotih Swaha. Om Sajurdevena Savitra Sajurushashendravatya Jushanah Suryo Vetu Swaha. Om Agnirjyotirjyotiragnihi Swaha. Om Agnirvarcho Jyotirvarchah Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Sajurdeven Savitra Sajuratrendravatya Jushano Agnirvetu Swaha. Om Bhuragye Pranaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pranaya Idanna Mama. Om Vayave Apanaya Swaha. Idam Vayave Apanaya Idanna Mama. Om Swaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha. Idamadityaya Vyanaya Idanna Mama. Om Bhurbhuva Swagnivayava Titebhyah Pranebhyah Swaha. Idamagni Vayavaditebhyah Pranapanavibhyah Idanna Mama. Om Apo Jyoti Raso Amritam Brahma Bhuva Swarom Swaha. Om Yami Dham Deva Gana Rascho Upasate Tayamadhayagne Medhavinam Kuru Swaha. Om Vishwavitarduritani Parasu Yad Bhadram Tan Asuva. Om Agnaraye Asman Vishwani Vavayunani Vidwan Yudhyajuhuranamino Bhuishtante Namam Vidhema Swa. Now we will offer some questions for the good health and for all the members' well-being. Om Astajivyasam Sarvamayurjivyasam Swaha. Om Upajivastho Jivyasam Swaha. Om Sanjivasthajivyasam Sarvamayurjivyasam Swaha. Om Jivasthajivyasam Sarvamayurjivyasam Swaha. ओम वर्च आदे तन ओजो वयो बलम इंद्रियाय त्वं वीर्याय प्रतिगृह्णामि शतशारदाय स्वाहा। ओम त्र्यंबकम गतिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा। ओम स्तुता मया वरदा वेदमाता प्रचोदयावमानि द्विजानाम् आयुः प्रजां पशुं कीर्तिं द्रविणं ब्रह्मचसं मह्यं दत्त्वा व्रजत ब्रह्म स्वाहा। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वाहा सर्वरेण्यं भर्गो तस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ओम भूर्भुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ओम भूर्भुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। 3 more oblations because today is Purnima. For Purnima, Om Agnaye Swaha, Om Agnishomabhyam Swaha, Om Vishnave Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Purnang Swaha. ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा। ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा। यज्ञ प्रार्थना। पूजनीय प्रभो हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। वेद की बोलें ऋचाएं सत्य को धारण करें, हर्ष में हो मग्न सारे शोक सागर से तरें। अश्वमेधादिक रचाएं यज्ञ पर उपकार को, धर्म मर्यादा चला कर लाभ दें संसार को। नित्य श्रद्धा भक्ति से यज्ञादि हम करते रहें, रोग पीड़ित विश्व के संताप सब हरते रहें। भावना मिट जाए मन से पाप अत्याचार की, कामनाएं पूर्ण होवें यज्ञ से नर नार की। लाभकारी हो हवन हर जीव धारी के लिए, वायु जल सर्वत्र हो शुभ गंध को धारण किए। स्वार्थ भाव मिटे हमारा प्रेम पथ विस्तार हो, इदन्न मम का सार्थक प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो। हाथ जोड़ झुकाए मस्तक वंदना हम कर रहे, नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा आपकी सब पर रहे। यज्ञ रूप प्रभो हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को, मानसिक बल दीजिए, प्रभु आत्मिक बल दीजिए। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्। हे नाथ सब सुखी हों, कोई न हो दुखारी, सब हों निरोग भगवन, धन धान्य के भंडारी। सब भद्र भाव देखें, सन्मार्ग के पथिक हों, दुखिया न कोई होवे, सृष्टि में प्राणधारी, दुखिया न कोई होवे, सृष्टि में प्राणधारी। Now you will bless all the Yajmans, the noble Aryan families, Dr. Narendra ji, Raj ji, Archana ji, Tej ji, राजेश खोसला जी, एवं लक्ष्मण जी, एवं सभी अन्य यजमान, रोहित जी जो यहाँ पर उपस्थित हैं। We will pray for them so that the Almighty Parmeshwar grant all the Yajmans the great blessings, the divine blessings which will bring all the auspicious things in their lives, happiness, prosperity, peace, and affection. All the Yajmans who are sitting with the Mukhya Yajman, kindly repeat my blessing words. Om Satyah Santu Yajmana Nam Kamaha. Om Saflah Santu Yajmana Nam Kamaha. Om Purnah Santu Yajmana Nam Kamaha. Om Subhagyamastu. Om Kalyanamastu. Om Arogyamastu. Om Shubham Bhavatu. Om Swasti Swasti Swasti. Om Swasti Panthamannuchareem Surya Chandramasa Viva Punardadata Janata Sangame Mahi. Om Bhadram Karneभिः शृणुयाम देवा भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसस्तनोभिर्वशे मही देवहितं यदायुः. Om Devanam Bhadra Sumitirrijuyatam Devanam Ratirabhino Nivartatam Devanam Sakhyamupase Dimavayam Devanah Ayuh Pratirantu Jivase. Om Swasti. Om Swasti. Om Swasti. बहुत बहुत सबको आशीर्वाद और शुभकामनाएं।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आदरणीय आचार्य वरुण देव जी। आज का अग्निहोत्र बहुत ही आनंद पूर्वक संपन्न हुआ। आप हमारे साथ बने रहेंगे। धन्यवाद जी। Once again, on behalf of Arya Sabha America, I welcome all of your humble presence this morning. Those families commemorating special events, I extend heartiest greetings and best wishes. So to start the satsang part, may I request respected Lakshman Alreja ji from Chicago for a bhajan, please.
आवाज आ रहा है
जी, धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू जी। ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, सबको गले से लगाते चलो, सबको गले से लगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, जिसका न कोई संगी साथी, ईश्वर है रखवाला, जिसका न कोई संगी साथी, ईश्वर है रखवाला, जो निर्धन है जो निर्बल है, वह प्रभु का प्यारा, जो निर्बल है जो निर्बल है, वह प्रभु का प्यारा, प्यार के मोती लुटाते चलो, प्यार के मोती लुटाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, आशा टूटी ममता रूठी, छूट गया है किनारा, आशा टूटी ममता रूठी, छूट गया है किनारा, बंद करो मत द्वार दया का, दे दो कुछ तो सहारा, बंद करो मत द्वार दया का, दे दो कुछ तो सहारा, दीप दया का जलाते चलो, दीप दया का जलाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, राह में आए जो दीन दुखी, सबको गले से लगाते चलो, सबको गले से लगाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो। हरिओम। हरिओम।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आदरणीय रेजा जी. Thank you and thank you for your presence this morning.
Thank you, जी.
Thank you. Now I'd like to request Dr. Narendra ji and Dr. Usha Sood ji from Michigan for a bhajan, please.
Can you hear us?
Yes, thank you.
चलते रहे परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे, प्रभु साथ चलना हर कदम, आए हैं हम तेरी शरण, प्रभु साथ चलना हर कदम, आए हैं हम तेरी शरण, तेरी शरण, परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे, परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे जाना हमें उस स्थान पर जहाँ सिर्फ आत्म का हो घर, जाना हमें उस स्थान पर जहाँ सिर्फ आत्म का हो घर, ना कोई भी देह हो, ना कोई देह का भोग हो, साधना इतनी करे मिल जाए मुक्ति, काय पथ हम साधना इतनी करे मिल जाए मुक्ति, काय पथ परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे हम, परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे हम। मेरी एक कामना है प्रभु, निष्पाप जीवन में जियो, एक कामना है प्रभु, निष्पाप जीवन में जियो, मेरे साथ हो तेरे उपक्रम, मेरे हाथ में हो राजो हर, गुरु आपके जैसा बनूं, शासन प्रभावन मैं करूं, गुरु आपके जैसा बनूं, शासन प्रभावन कर परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे हम। हमने लिए कितने जन्म, हमने जिए कितने जीवन, हमने लिए कितने जन्म, हमने जिए कितने जीवन। इस पापमय संसार में कितने बने हमसे कर्म, इतने अबों का खेद है अब और ना हो अवगमन। परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे हम। परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे हम। प्रभु साथ चलना हर कदम, आए हैं हम तेरी शरण। प्रभु साथ चलना हर कदम, आए हैं हम तेरी शरण, तेरी शरण। परमात्मा की राह पर चलते रहे हम, चलते रहे हम, चलते रहे हम।
Thank you so much both for such a beautiful bhajan, and thank you for your presence. Thank you so much. So at this time, I would like to request Aditya Acharya Varun Dev ji for today's inspirational message. Acharya ji. Try करें. Sorry.
धन्यवाद आदरणीय भुवनेश जी। ओम यो अस्मै घ्रंस उतवाय उधनी सोमं सुनोति भवति द्युमम् अह अपाप शक्रस्ततनुष्टि मुहति तनु शुभ्रम यः कवासखः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रद्धेय मातृशक्ति, सम्माननीय पदाधिकारीगण एवं समस्त आर्य बंधुओं और सम्माननीय वरिष्ठ सदस्यों, आज टुडे this mantra I chose from 5th mandal of Rig Veda, and today in fact I wanted to talk about the classification of human beings, of a man, of our whole community of the human beings. Mostly we know about that we classify human beings in 4 categories according to the Vedic knowledge, according to their karmas, in fact, and that you all know, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, that is based on the karmas. But today I would like to discuss and talk more about a spiritual point of view of this, of the classification of human beings. And It is more psychological. So today let's try to understand first the meaning of this mantra which I just quoted in front of you. The meaning of this mantra is the simple meaning. Basically, in this mantra, in the Rig Veda, two types of people are described here. Two types of people, and we are asking whom I am in between these two. I am this one or that one. So who are these two? So it is saying yah means that ghrans utva yah udhani, whether it is night or day. Asmai means that who is the creator of this whole universe, who is the source of life. That Almighty Supreme Being, Parmeshwar, Som Sunoti, the one who day and night is engaged in the devotion and in the invocation of the divine being with knowledge, with proper knowledge, with perfect knowledge. Aham Dyuman Bhavati. Surely that guy who will do that, the people who are engaged in this kind of activities with devotion and with knowledge in order to attain and realize the divine, surely he becomes enlightened. And on the contrary, Tatnushtim, which means who is all the time engaged himself in the activities to get the worldly pleasures and to get rid of the worldly pains from his life, and who are always Tanu Shubhram, who are worshipping, satisfying their bodily needs and and who are in the bed, the same people who are worshipping their material nature, their material body and nothing else. Means that Supreme Being, up uhu. That Supreme Being gives the results of their karma according to their this kind of acts, which means they go to they get in their life what they are meant for. There is a wonderful mantra in Ishopanishad, Yajurved, 40th chapter, Asurya nam te loka andhen tamsa vrita yanste tanste pretya viganti eke chatma hanojana. The one who soul or ignores the voice of the soul, what happens with them? They go to such worlds, the dark worlds, where no light of enter. So what is that kind of knowledge which cannot enter? What kind of worlds are those? Those kind which are completely closed by the walls of ignorance. And when such person is chained or bounded by his own ego and ignorance, one cannot attain, cannot try to even liberate himself from the chains of ignorance. Now, I would like to hear Gita, because when we are talking about our spiritual evolution, our psychological, we go letter of Gita in order to get some glimpse of knowledge. Veda is the source of all knowledge. The glimpses of that divine knowledge we get find in Gita. So 7.116 in the 7th chapter of Gita, 16th shloka, Shri Krishna describing types of bhaktas, 4 types of is or the sadhaks, we can say. They are Chatur Vidha Bhajate Janah Sukrito Arjuna Artha Surartharthi Jnani Cha Bharatar Shabha. He is saying among the virtuous ones who turns towards the divine consciousness with devotion, O Arjuna, there are 4 kinds of bhaktas, and they are the people, the bhaktas who are suffering. They call divine help. They call for divine help to get rid of their suffering. The second one, seeker for good in the world. The seekers of truth, they also become bhakta, the second category. The third one, the seeker for knowledge, who are trying and attain the self-realization and the supreme realization, the realization of Brahma. And the fourth one are those with knowledge, which means who are ever liberated. Now here, I would like to take you to a wonderful analogy to understand this shloka of Gita. When I read this, and I know many of you must have read or heard about this story before, but inspiring is to understand the identification of people, the human beings. There was a fisherman, and he went to a lake in order to catch some fishes. He put some food, fish food in the net, and he throws net in the water bowl. In the lake, there are some fishes who were very tempted food and who tried to come near to the net and entangled. They are trapped. There are some fishes in the lake who saw the net before the food. So what did they do? They tried to get the food and not to try to get trapped in the net. The third one were there who were trapped already, but to get rid of that net. One were the ever free, who saw the net and they were not tempted and they kept quiet where they were in the water. They even didn't try to come and the net. So here we can see there are these 3 of people. The fish is trapped in the net. One is that fish even is not trying to get rid of its fetter. Why? Because it is not conscious that I have in this net. It's not conscious of it's not conscious of its ignorance. That kind of fish is called the first and very lower category. The second one, who are the seeker to get rid of this spring, to get rid of this net, of this. And the third one, who by the efforts, consistent efforts, they get from ignorance, from the chains of ignorance. And the fourth ones are those who are completely free, who have no tension in their life for the worldly good and worldly attainments. So here, this story is very inspiring for me. When I read this story, I always try to think in which category I am at present now. in which category I am in, whether I am in the category of the fish who does not want to try to liberate and is set where it is, or the second one is seeking the liberation, who is seeking that how can I get freedom from this, and the third one who is seeking and getting some experiences of freedom, little by little, bit by bit. And one, of course, fourth one is like Maharshi Saraswati, Shri Krishna, Shri Ram, huge Mahapurush who have liberated much before than the ordinary people. Why? Because their consciousness, their tapasya in their life, that nothing in the world can tempt them. If we look at the life of Maharshi Dayanand, his Nirvana Divas is near, and we should remember it, and in fact imbibe the spirit of Maharshi Dayanand in our life. In spite of having all those worldly means to get satisfied in the life, he left everything behind and he left for the search of the soul. He left for the search of the truth in his life because he was not satisfied with the worldly attainments, with the worldly pleasures and pains. When he saw his father is rich, and when he saw at the same time the death of his sister and uncle, this question that whether this material richness can liberate us from this suffering of death or not, then that quest, that sincere inquiry led him to become Maharshi Dayanand. The same way, if we look at Shri Ram, the life of Shri Ram, at the eve of his enthronement, when he's going to become the king next day, in that night, he heard that I am being expelled from the kingdom. And next day, he's becoming the king. And when we read Valmiki Ramayana, and when we see that attitude of Shri Ram, that there is no temptation to get the hold of the kingdom, that equanimity in his attitude, that samatha, that calmness, that peace, which set examples in front of the human beings for the not only for a century or few centuries, I'm telling for yugas. He was born in Treta Yuga, and now we are in Kali Yuga. So we can see still we are remembering Shri Ram. Why? Because of his setting of example of that equanimity in his life. Even when he was in Vanvas, so many stories are there where we can find so many difficulties on the material world he faced because he was a prince. But not a single time he complained. Why? Because that spiritual equanimity was settled in himself, and he was forever free from all these material fetters which normally bounds the ordinary people. So that's why we remember the great Mahapurushas. There are so many events in the life of Maharshi Dayanand when so mean people came into his life and tried to tempt him and even kill him. But he was forever fearless and he was forever free from all the suffering. Even at the time of his death, he had such a control over his consciousness. Then he decided to leave his body on the Kartik Amavasya on Diwali. Pandit Gurudat Vidyarthi was with him and he saw the effect of his tapasya at the time of that difficult time of death. When everyone can be trembled at that time because of the fear of leaving the body, but he was such a Jivan Mukta yogi. He did not even a moment cried or suffered outwardly that he is suffering inwardly. Because inwardly in his inner self, in his inner consciousness, he was always free. He was Jivan Mukt. So such liberated souls who are forever free are like that analogy, in that analogy, that fishes which cannot be tempted by any worldly success. But we are the seekers, because if we came into touch of the knowledge of Vedas and Maharshi Dayanand, because he is the yogi, he is the man of our Vedic culture, he is the rishi who gave this clarion call to all of us back to Vedas, because Vedas are our roots, Vedas are our source of all knowledge, whether material one or the spiritual one. So I would like to say, if we really want to, sincerely want to evolve in our life, we need to take advantage of the Shastras. We need to take advantage by reading the lives of the Mahapurushas. Telling you, small children, I have done that experiments in when I was teaching in Bangalore in the school, the value education teacher I was at that time, and simply narrated the stories of Mahapurush to the children 5-6 years old, and be receptive in their they opened themselves and they wanted to know more and more about the great figures of the great personalities of our culture. So only because when try to look into the life of the great people, then only we can be inspired by them. The point is, we all Aryas, and basic principle of our life is to evolve on the all of consciousness. We should not be stopped. We should not rest. We should not be satisfied where we are right now. And it does not matter whether in which or where are we, it does not matter, only matters our sincere aspiration. What we want to achieve. Are we really wanting to realize our self, our true self, or not? If we are not, then we have to make some goals in our life in order to make our life meaningful. That is the point. How can we feel that our life is meaningful? Only then have set a target. If we have not set the target, then now I will try to refer your question. Why? Because these all scriptures are light for us. And from wherever we take the light in order to evolve, we should take without any hesitation and without any kind of, we say, delays. Because when we delay, we are not progressing. When we delay, we are regretting, we are regressing. There is regression if we are delaying our evolution. So in Yoga Darshan, Maharshi Patanjali ji is describing 5 states of mind. And in that 5 states of mind, we can see the psychological states of mind. Of course, all the people can be classified more grossly in three kinds: Sattvic people, Rajasic people, and Tamasic people, of course. but there are some shades of different gunas, and which make us able to classify people more subtly, more minutely, and more deeply. Why? Because our Vedic culture is so sukshma, is so subtle, so that it goes so deep, part by part, inch by inch, even centimeter by centimeter into the consciousness, and it scans whole consciousness and gives a perfect spectrum of our human consciousness. So there are shades of Sattva-guna, there are shades of Rajo-guna, there are shades of Tamo-guna. And in that combination, sometimes the shades of Rajo-guna is more dominant in our nature than the Sattva-guna and Tamo-guna. And that dominance shows that kind of people who are more Rajasic in their nature, they want to become, they have more success, kind of successful ambition in their life. The people who does not want anything, who are trapped in their ignorance, they are satisfied where they are, in the materially or spiritually. It signifies, or it indicates towards that Tamoguna is trying to hold on such kind of people. But the indication of Sattva-guna is when someone is concentrated on all the planes of consciousness in order to evolve integrally, not only in a linear way, but in an integral way, when all our minds, our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, our even physical needs and desires are not ignored. They are fulfilled in a way that we evolve in a harmonious way, and we finally try to touch that spiritual goal, spirituality in our life. If that is spiritual essence of our life we are not trying to get, then whatever we are doing on the plane of mind, on the plane of knowledge, or on the plane of emotions or feelings or desires, we can never evolve integrally. That's why we can see in the world so many problems are there. Why? Materially, the world is becoming more and more rich. The scientists, the doctors, they are inventing new medicines in order to get rid of the different diseases. But why still the human consciousness is in chaos, in crisis? It's not satisfied. It's not because that acceleration of evolution is not being given by the spirituality. And when that spiritual essence, that spiritual progress and evolution we will have in our collective consciousness, not only individual, only then we can be sure of a better world, noble world, Arya, a world which we can say Kinvanto Vishwamaryam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Acharya ji, for such informational pravachan this morning. So just one question So you started with, it's basically a query or the quest of understanding who we are, right? With the Yajurveda mantra, and then you later quoted Gita, and you also went into Yog Darshan, where we talked about the three gunas, right? The Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And obviously, there needs to be this natural evolution moving away from Tamas and Rajas. Where do you see the balance? Because, I mean, even in the non-Vedic world, right? It's a popular quote by Shakespeare, if you would, that life is a stage where we are all actors in roles in our lives, right? Like different things. So, the three gunas, whether it be tamas, rajas, and sattvic gunas, they sometimes complement, sometimes they play conflicting, right? In a normal human being, right? So how do you balance? I mean, is rajas, is a person being identified mostly in the rajas? Because I think that's where there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of progression. Is that really a bad thing, or is that just a stage?
Bhuvnesh, in fact, this is the functioning of our mind, which works only in divisions. Like we try to see whether if we are in Rajogun or Tamogun or Satugun, in which one we should be stationed so that we are right. We are in fact dividing things in good and bad. But here I am talking something, a comprehensive evolution, a consciousness which knows at which time one has to be Rajasic and at which time one needs to be Sattvic and what time one needs to be even Tamasic, because if we are not Tamasic, we cannot sleep. So when that spiritual awakening will be there, that spiritual awakening will make us able to use these three gunas without conflict and without contradictions. And that will make our life more harmonious. That's why when people in Satuguna, they want to leave, they want to get rid of the Rajogun and Tamogun, that is also a problem. Then we have the lack of power, the lack of energy in the society. And it happened in India in our history. And when we are more Rajoguna, we become more Kshatriya or something like this, then we crush the noble and humble feelings and emotions in the society. So here, that's why I'm telling that spiritual awakening, that collective spiritual awakening will bring that element in the society which will know which element and which gunas is used where and when required, as and when required.
Okay, wonderful. I think what we should do, maybe in future, one of the future pravachans, focus one pravachan on one of the gunas, right? And you relate them back to, if you look at anger, in a conversation, somebody can have anger, but as you said, it may be necessary to actually push somebody to actually do something, right? So it'd be interesting to see what type of human behaviors are related to, rajas, when it's good, when it's bad, from kind of a Vedic perspective. I think it'll be a great pravachan, and that puts us in like a series of three things relating back to it. I think that I would find that more meaningful. Hopefully others will resonate too.
But I must compliment this question. It's like when you are using a knife, if you don't give it a sharpness, then it becomes, you can't use it. But this question was very sharp, I must say, which made the subject more comprehensive.
Right.
Wonderful.
Right. And Rajesh has a comment, it's a three-legged stool. I fully get that. And in management, in your career and all that, you go through all these tests. In fact, somebody gets labeled in the Western world as a type A personality or type, and all these things, which is all part of modern psychology and all those things. But there are so many hidden treasures within our own literature.
Exactly. Actually, the people who understands our culture and they get that gems, they give their names to that particular kind of knowledge. So this is happening so much but I'm telling you that if we try to take shelter go deep down in that of knowledge of our culture, Vedic Sanskriti, we have all solutions.
Great, wonderful. Well, thank you everybody for joining. We'll be again here next Saturday. I'll request Acharya ji for Shanti Part and Jai Ghosh to close the session. Dhanyavad ji.
Shanti Part. ओम द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्ति ब्रह्मैः सर्वं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः साम शान्तिरेधि। ओम शांति 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 ही। जो बोले सो अभय।
वैदिक धर्म की जय।
गुरुवर विरजानंद जी की
जय।
युग प्रवर्तक महर्षि दयानंद जी की
जय।
मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम श्री चंद्र जी की
जय।
योगेश्वर श्री कृष्ण
जय।
सभी संतों महर्षियों की
जय।
समाज
अमर रहे,
वेद की ज्योति
जलती रहे,
ओम का झंडा
ऊंचा रहे,
किणवंतो
विश्व मार्या।
वैदिक ध्वनि। ओ वैदिक अभिवादन। सबको आदर नमस्ते जी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आचार्य जी। Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद।
Thank you to everybody for joining this morning.
सबको नमस्ते। नमस्ते भुवनेश जी।
Namaste ji.